Hello everyone, this is Matthew for Huxley Mock, and it's been almost 6 months. In fact, it's been more than 6 months since we last took a look at this city. There has been quite a bit of work done, and before any more time drifts on, I think we need to at least take a look at where things are. So let's start over here in the boneyard, literally the bones of previous buildings that just either haven't been finished or we need to rethink the design. And there's quite a bit over here. We zoom over the 7-Eleven and you'll see that one of those buildings happens to be the Lego building. The unfortunate Lego building that was in a previous video. The marriage of the bottom two floors to the top part, which is right next to it, just wasn't working for me. So that building finds itself over here. In addition, we also have the remnants behind the Avengers Tower of the Section 9, the Ghost in the Shell building. It was an example of brutalist architecture, but it after the movie came out and that movie had a much more interesting design, we relegated that to the boneyard. I've been pulling pieces off that for other projects. So and there's some other stuff. We've got a Back to the Future mock back there. We've got some other interesting architectural experiments, but let's get into the buildings that are actually finished. We've got our metro, our light rail station. This is not powered, but we do have a train that comes out of the tunnel there. The kids love playing with that quite a bit. We've got our stairs up, which is not new. Some of the things that I've been trying out with is playing with the color variations on a railing. Here we have a tan and a dark gray, and over here I went with more of an oxidized bronze. Still trying to figure out which one I like. On one hand, I like the way that the tan kind of pops. On the other hand, the more muted colors for the railing does help separate it from the overall museum. Now the museum, excitedly, has a name. We're calling this the Space and Time Museum, not only because we have the large space shuttle behind the glass there, which is pretty exciting, but there's also a number of different exhibits on display inside of the Space and Time Museum. There's things like the Doctor Who TARDIS are in there. We might do something like put a DeLorean in there. That's pretty exciting as well. And I see that there's a brand new Apollo spacecraft, which means if we're going to get a 2-foot or 2.5-foot tall rocket in there as well, we may be expanding that main section. But we do have some space for that. Our roof currently is cut in a bit, and so we've got some space to play. Now, supposedly that creator or that Lego idea set is supposed to have a 16 stud wide base to it. That's pretty big. That's one of these plates right here. So we'll have to see how to make that work, but ultimately that'll probably go in here. I ran across a absolutely fantastic mod custom mock that somebody had done that was the H.G. Wells version of a time travel machine. I think that should probably go in here. Lots of interesting things going on with the various exhibits within this structure, and we still need to finish off the top over here and some of the roof. But next to it, we've got our bus station, just temporarily posed on top of our stanchions. That'll probably end up moving as we clear out the boneyard and begin building to the other side of our museum. But if we come back over to the main part of our city, it's dense. It's really dense. And in fact, it's so dense we have a number of structures below the city. We have Cosa Nostra Pizza right next to Chatsubo. Cosa Nostra Pizza, you might remember, is the pizza joint for hero protagonist in Neil Stephenson's Snow Crash, and then Chatsubo is the tea house / bar in William Gibson's Neuromancer. The idea is we have a bit lower class, lower social entities down here, and you'll probably recognize the blue and the brown from the Temple of Air Jitsu. I took that, one of those side structures, and I made that a bit bigger. And the idea is that, you know, this is lower caste. It's a bit lower on this pecking order when compared to the buildings, the skyscrapers in the nice bank. So that's currently underneath. That theme will probably persist around the corner there underneath, and we'll have some interesting buildings over here, some lower caste buildings over there. But if we come back up, we've got our Atari building on the corner, and if we swing around, we continue the modern architecture theme with our modular apartments, and a new piece down here, which is our underground highway. So this, if I switch this, it's also lighted in there. So this is our expressway. Our city is so dense that bulldozing a massive number of buildings in order to build an expressway, not really a possibility. So here it's mimicking things like the Boston Big Dig project and putting a underground transportation network. So right now it's just one 32 by 32 base plate, but we'll continue to build that out and in. And it'll have to coexist with our light rail through the base. So let's come up a bit. And we've got a couple of our Lego modulars there. We've got the Palace Cinema and we've got the Parisian Cafe next to a couple of my older Asian MOCs. There's the Lucky Dragon right next to the White Dragon. The White Dragon is actually flipped around. And if we go the next street over, there's a new refactored building. This is the Octan Apartments, kind of an Art Deco style. The idea is that this was an apartment building that subsequently got gentrified, and they still call it the Octan building because there's obviously some history there, but it's now apartments above the street level shops, and right next to Weyland Yutani. And we've got the Fifth Element Mr. Kim's Thai food floating along there. And that's about it. So 6 months of work since the last update. Number of things moved around, number of things cleaned up, and hopefully you enjoyed that, and we'll see where I'm at in the next 6 months. Thanks. Bye.